Yes, hello and welcome, tradies. It is our mini-season preview. The A-graders have been and gone. The feedback has been interesting. And Mitch and I are going to use this to just dip our beaks, to just kind of, is that the terminology? Do you dip your beak? Is that what happens? Do you wet your beak?
I'll just go along with it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what came out of my mouth there. We're just going to give ourselves a little taste of the season ahead before games are started proper and the whiteboard launches.
Great to have you back in footy though, Sam, because
This will be good.
last time I saw you in a footy sense was night 2 of the draft, which just absolutely stunned me, that the fact you'd rock up to the draft, let alone night 2, because normally you're a night 1 guy, if at all.
I can't remember the last one was at night 1.
Why were you at night 2?
Because the age needed someone.
Right.
And they asked me
You
to.
are a
and
team player.
And I said yes. I got to work with Roy Wood and Mark McGowan.
And then, since then you've been driving the Nullarbor, the tennis. Mm-hmm. You would have been at the Australian Open Golf.
Yep.
You've been writing about, you've made an excuse to write about Melbourne's private golf clubs.
Very well read pieces they've been.
I got a bit of a drive-by in there.
Been spoken about inside newsrooms, inside TV newsrooms, including your own 7 newsrooms.
Or when we mentioned, it's hard not to.
Speaking of newsrooms, how close were you to switching newsrooms?
What do you mean?
Don't play dumb with me. 9 came with a mega offer for you.
I'm a 7 guy. We've discussed that at length over the last 3 seasons
Did
of
you
Tradies.
consider the offer from 9?
I'm very happy at 7.
Did you consider the offer? It wasn't a question. Did you consider the offer from 9?
There was I think it's been well reported there was an approach, so it's hard to ignore that there wasn't.
Thank you.
But I love doing the live footy, and I've got a great opportunity at 7, so it'd be very silly of me to leave.
Are you excited to work with Tom?
If what I'm reading is correct, it'll be exciting, but I don't know what you're really talking about.
So for those of you who haven't been following it closely, this is quite funny for me. So Tom has left 9 for 7, and because of a contractual arrangement, no one's actually allowed to talk about that he's joining 7. But because I, A, don't have any part in his contract and B, don't care, I can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Well, Link, Link,
G'day, Link.
do you think Mitch is looking forward to working with Tom?
I'm sure he's looking forward to it, yeah.
I'm not sure he is.
I'm sitting this one out. Agenda said us go to 3 nights though, so we're going to need some more talent. So looking forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah, well, the first 2 went so well, so we might as well add a third. Hey, Link.
I heard the footy classified crew was just getting a bit nervous about the Tuesday, so I think we'll just come in on the Wednesdays.
I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about the Tuesdays. I just control Mondays.
Monday's very strong too.
Link, do you think, who are in world sport, who are the examples of teams that have had 2 genuine superstars on the list and it hasn't really worked? I'm just trying to think.
That hasn't worked.
Yeah. So, let's have a think.
Well, Pavlich and Sandilands never won a flag.
Good point. It's a great one. Got a strong start from you, you idiot. Who did PSG have? Neymar and...
They had 3.
Yeah. Who are the other 2?
Messi.
Neymar, Messi, and... Oh, Jesus, that's so bad. Let's just stick with Neymar and Messi.
There was a 3rd. Hang on.
Didn't really work. I can actually picture him, the French guy.
Pogba.
No, he's still playing. Shaved head.
Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe, thank you. That didn't work. They never won the Champions League. Well, they won it eventually, but not with those 3 playing. There must have been basketball. Who in basketball?
LeBron and
this is going
Luka,
well.
LeBron and Luka haven't won a championship yet.
There you go. Thank you. I'll think about some more. It'd be interesting to see if it
Great
works.
analogy, yeah.
Thank you.
What does your year look like?
No, I'm not done with you. So when can Tom start legally?
You're telling the story here, so I'm only going on what I've read.
It's just very awkward, isn't it? It's very awkward. This is going to be great to watch. And the add Xander Maguire in. It's three bulls and a pen. Bulls don't usually go well together. I hope it works for your sake.
Thanks.
I'm not sure it will, but I hope it does. It would be. It genuinely would be nice for 9 to have some competition. That would be good. It's been a little bit lonely at the top.
You can watch the footy on 9 on Saturdays, can you?
No, we don't have the footy rights.
Okay.
Yep.
You watch it on Thursdays, Fridays and Sundays on 7?
We do the NRL. Right. Do you really want after the A graders conversation? You want to go back to the argument about footy on Saturdays? It's amazing.
I'm happy to talk about this for as long as you want.
I think it's very respectable that you are as company man as you are. It's very respectable.
If you look at the raw numbers, it makes
Gary
all the
O'Keefe
sense in the world.
and Chris Jones would be very proud of you.
I think Jonesy tunes into this show from time
He
to
actually
time.
does because we get messages from him. Where would you like to start? We could start with Lockie Neal. We could start with Zach Merritt. We could start with Zach Butters.
Let's start with Butters.
Okay. Your
I
man.
think he's the biggest free agent of this year.
Yes.
And he's had an offer on the table from Port for at least 12 months now and yet to consider it. If you speak
which makes sense.
Yeah. And if you speak to the Victorian clubs, the general consensus is that he's headed to Victoria. Now, it still has to happen. He still has to tell Port he's going. But he did sort of half look at it last year, and I think he knew deep down that was never going to happen. And I think we said the same about Naz last year, and he ended up staying at St Kilda. But if the Port Adelaide Footy Club was in Victoria, I think Zach Butters is a sign, and he loves the club. There's nothing about, again, Port. It's just about the lure of home to Victoria.
Yep.
And he's going to have some
Zach
mega
is,
offers.
for those who don't know, very family oriented.
Yep.
Bacchus Marsh boy.
Yep.
Would like to be as close to home as possible to spend more time with family.
So doing my prep for this show last night, Darley, his hometown, to Essendon is 37 minutes. It is also 37 minutes to the Whitten Oval. GMHBA Stadium is 53 minutes. Dingley, an hour and 8 minutes.
Is it 53 minutes with or without roadworks?
This is at 9 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
So no roadworks.
But there's always roadworks to Geelong.
Well, add an extra 5%, 10%. Collingwood's 49 minutes. I think the tunnel has helped him.
Oh boy.
The tunnel, that
This is
helps
great.
Collingwood.
This is great research from you.
Yeah, this is micro. And the tunnel also, actually, I think you come the other way, but Icon Park is 45 minutes. Now, this is last night at 9 p.m.
I think you come the other way.
Yeah, I don't think the tunnel is really a factor there. I haven't included St Kilda, Melbourne, Richmond, or North.
St Kilda, Melbourne, Richmond, or North. You wouldn't think he goes to Richmond or North, just based on ladder positions.
Yeah.
St Kilda, maybe. Melbourne
Do the Saints
unlikely.
have the cash?
I think they're probably like Geelong. They just keep finding ways to find it.
And then Melbourne, I can't see them being a big factor this year.
Probably not.
If you're leaving,
Geez, what they need though.
Yeah. And the free agency rules are going to be fascinating to see which way it lands because he could. Would it shock you if Port finished bottom 4 this year?
I would be surprised. Would it shock me? Not a lot shocks me anymore. I'd be surprised if they finish bottom 4.
I think their top 5 players are very good, but their depth falls away.
Yeah, I think if Port Adelaide stay largely injury-free, they'll be a bit better than people think.
Okay.
But I agree with you that I agree depth's an issue, yep.
So if they were to finish bottom 4, which again wouldn't shock me, we could be having an Oscar Allan, Ben Mackay conversation where the Power would just accept the pick and he walks. And if he was to do
So
that...
if they finish third last and end up with pick 3, they could get pick 4 for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably worth more than that though, isn't he?
Well, that's when you get into this next conversation. Is he Ben Mackay, Oscar Allan, or is he Jeremy Cameron? You know, the Giants didn't accept the compo pick they were offered because they knew they could get more by matching it and forcing a trade. Now,
someone will give more than pick 4 for Zach Butters.
Potentially, yep.
I would think.
Yep. But then the AFL, you're throwing the consideration that free agency compensation won't start at the traditional 1, 2 and 3 like we've seen. It could start from pick 8 onwards, and that's so the bottom 8 clubs wouldn't get those because of the wild card now. So the bottom 8 clubs, the free agency compensation would start at pick 8 or pick 9.
Can't wait for the wild card. That'd be good.
If that was in
didn't bite league.
Or if the Port finished outside the bottom 4, they're matching that and forcing a trade. I think that would have a major swing on what he's worth in the market. You know, if a club got him like a Ben Mackay, I could see them paying upwards of 2.2. If you got Zach Butters through your door without having to give up a draft pick for him, and Port just accepted what the AFL gave him, he's worth 2.2 to another club. If you have to force a trade, give up 3 first rounders, you're probably looking at more your 1.8. That's the sort of ballpark we're talking here.
Any gut feel early?
The Dogs would be my early favourite, but it's a long year.
Yep.
You've been big on Hawthorn.
I'd have Hawthorn a real smoky. And we can get into this conversation now, but dependent on what happens with Merritt.
Let's go to Merritt.
Well, look, I think everyone's heard my view on this quite staunchly. I think that Essendon should have traded him. I don't think it's done the club justice by keeping him and all the noise around it. Having said that, they're now making noises that he could potentially re-sign, which would be an amazing about foot, an amazing 180, to be honest. From a guy who desperately didn't want to be there to, oh, well, I'll stay if you give me more money and more years. That just, I'm not sure it all sits right with me, to be honest. And I'm not saying Zach's to blame for this. I'm not saying Essendon's to blame for it, but it's all a bit messy.
So he's got new management?
Yes, no, yep. So he went from Tom Petoro to Nick Geeshan.
Yep.
Geeshan
I think it would look silly on Essendon's behalf if he was to re-sign, given what happened in last year.
Sorry, you think it would look silly on Essendon?
Yep.
Okay. I don't disagree with that.
If you're Zach, I could see a world where if you wanted to extend, you lock in your money. So your security, you've got more security. And if on Essendon's, if you look at out of the optics of this, that would give them more. If he signed on for 2 more years to give him 3 years on a contract, it would give them more leverage in a trade sense. So if you look at let's say he doesn't re-sign, he's got 1 year left on his deal at the end of this year. If he adds 2 more to that, he's got 3 years left. Essendon would have more leverage when it comes to a trade if he asked for a trade end of the year with 3 years on his deal compared to 1.
So you think it's a cynical re-signing to protect themselves?
Potentially.
Okay. Well, in which case it's savvy.
But optics often outweigh these things in footy, and I think it would look silly for the club.
Yeah. I think you've made the point well. I don't disagree with any of that. So back to the Hawthorn thing. You know, a couple of things could happen here. He could re-sign and then Hawthorn lose interest. He could have an average 8 weeks and Hawthorn lose interest. And then they turn their attention elsewhere. And it's like, well, what would we give for Butters? You know, we had all this money and all this draft capital ready to go for merit. Reid looks like he's not going anywhere for another few years at least, if the re-signing is to be believed.
Yep.
And when I say to be believed, it's in to be believed for the right reasons that he's re-signed.
Yep.
So maybe they go all in on Hawthorn. What's Bacchus Marsh to Dingley?
An hour and 8 minutes at 9 p.m. last night.
It's a bit too far, isn't it?
Peak hours.
As I said, Dingley, the facility's great.
Not saying he's going to live there.
The problem with Dingley's it's in Dingley.
Not saying he's going to necessarily live in Darley, but he would like to spend some time there.
Yeah, so he wants to be close.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like when Dylan Shield came home and then realised that the drive from Brighton to Tullamarine is actually terrible.
In peak hour especially.
Yeah, he's like, oh no. So I think I'd have Hawthorn as a loomer. They're still my big watch, the Hawks. I think that they know that they still don't have enough A-graders. What's happened with Will Day continues to kind of haunt them.
Yeah.
They lose Warple, who was, people talk about Warple as a role player. He's a bit more than that.
Speaking of Warple.
Pretty handy, James Warple. Yes.
This is what he had to say on December 3 this year.
That you were coming back down the road?
Nah, there's definitely a bit to go through. I think a few of the media people were just guessing, ended up being a good guess. But there was a lot of talks between the two of the club and my management group. But it's never as clear cut as it seems.
So if you followed the narrative last year, I reckon it was in May that you put on the radar that he was a lock, done deal to Geelong. We had to wait until October for it to be done. And he claims that some media, I think he's looking solely at you.
Yeah. It's like with some media, it's like no one else said it, so it must be me. But I swear I read in the Herald Sun that he was about to re-sign.
No.
I swear. No, that's all good fun from James. Although, when you first sent that to me, I was a bit like,
Have you seen him since the trade?
No, I haven't. Oh, so this is immediately the movie that I went to when he said that.
But now I am too hurt. I am shocked and offended and hurt.
The movie?
You know the movie. Oh, Mitch, please.
See,
please, no, don't upset everyone. Anchorman. You seen Anchorman?
I've seen Anchorman. I just can't remember shit in movies.
Oh, okay. For some reason I do. So
my dog's name is Baxter. He's behind us in the new studio, by the way.
Is that after Anchorman's Baxter?
Kate named him. I need to actually ask where it came from.
You don't know why your dog is called Baxter? That is outrageous.
Well, I'm more of a stepdad to Baxter.
Oh, I see. Okay. Step dog parenting is tough. We digress.
We are in the new studio here as well for those that are watching us.
Yes. It looks great. I've got 46 on the whiteboard, by the way. Mason, that's actually Mason Cox's worn jumper.
2-year deal at Freo.
It's going to be good. I will say this on James, and if James is listening, I think he knows this. One day we'll sit down and have a beer and talk about it, but he knows exactly where I got that information from.
Right, okay.
And I don't think he wants to admit it, but I think that deep down he knows. And James, one day maybe we'll have a beer about it.
Okay.
He should be sitting there being like, I don't want to have a fucking beer with you.
Just on the Hawks,
I just invited myself to a beer that I'm not welcome at.
you talk about Butters, Merritt. The other one that we can't forget is Bailey Humphrey. So he tried to get out of his contract last year at the Suns. They held him.
Yeah, that whole thing went a little bit under the radar, didn't it?
Well, there was so many
Not
other
under
big
the radar,
names.
but there was so much else happening
Yeah.
with Merritt and yeah.
I was at the Caulfield races over spring since we've last recorded. Had a good chat to Bailey, lovely country kid.
Okay.
The same vicinity was Brad Green, the now vice president of Melbourne, but president at the time. Paul Guerra was also floating around, the Melbourne chief. So the D's are going to be all in on him, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks sort of dip their toe in that market as well.
Really?
And we're on stable pony watch always. So
Stable pony watch. I love this.
Bailey
Just
Humphreys.
explain it to the people that haven't listened to the first 3 seasons of Tradies.
So clubs that go after players to help either facilitate a player staying or maybe to attract a player to their footy club.
So it's the Lincoln McCarthy, Lockie Neal sort of scenario.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Now, this kid was taken in the top 30 of the draft, so he can play footy. But Tom Matthews is Bailey Humphrey's best friend, and the D's picked him up in the draft last year. So there's another factor for the D's. It's a bit like we said it last year in the mid-season draft. I know you're such a big fan of the mid-season draft. Jack Watkins was there to be taken. He is one of Zach Butter's closest friends. And the Power ended up picking him up in the rookie draft this year. So the Dogs could have taken him. Essendon could have taken him. Geelong could have added him in the mid-season last year. But no, the Power snapped him up.
Are AFL footballers really this sensitive? Can you not make other friends? I've always thought this about there's 45 blokes at a club. Like, just make new friends.
And
actually, it makes sense though, because now, Link, I know this is why Seven went and got Tom Morris, so he could be with Mitch.
And this guy's
It makes sense now.
This guy's a first-round draft pick, but Latrell Pickett and Cozzy Pickett will be a force to be reckoned with in the next.
But that's a
2 or
little
3
bit
years.
different, isn't it?
Well, he's a star, but it's another factor to keep Cozzy around. He's signed forever. You can't tell me he's going to not look around again, having done it twice in 3 years before this.
I know you've been on you and Cozzy Pickett's like me and Dusty Martin. You've been praying for that trade to get across the line.
Just reporting as it happens. Just black and white reporting as it
You
happens.
told me you'd have a party the day that Pickett gets traded. Should we talk? Let's move from players to clubs, because the biggest club in the off season that I think most people will be interested in, there's probably 2, right? It's the Saints and the Blues. Is that fair?
Yep.
No, and would you?
I've got a big watch on North this year too.
All right, let's start with them.
Well, no, just year 4 of Clarko. Their age demographic, he's got them now where they should be playing finals. I'm not saying they will, but they should. And I think
I completely lost all faith I had in North Melbourne last year, because that to me was meant to be the year where they showed us something.
yeah,
And that was meant to be the year where those guys showed growth, and I don't think they did.
yeah.
And I thought their performance was really disappointing, and I thought the lack of communication from the club as to why that they were disappointing was even more so.
Okay.
So I hear what you're saying. I think that they should be going up this year. But having said that, Mitch, I thought that last year.
Yeah, and people
So
will be,
I've lost interest. to be
people that have
honest.
listened to this show will be sick of me comparing them to Brisbane. But look at what Brisbane did in 2015, 2016. Then we got Mitch Robinson, Tom Bell, Josh Walker, Jared Jansen, Ryan Bastanak, Josh Shackey in the draft, and Jack Frost. They went and got Hodge and Cameron in 2017, then made a massive jump. They went from 5 wins to top 4.
But North haven't done that.
That's what I'm saying.
North haven't gone those guys.
So Brisbane went and got
Haven't gone and
Lockie
got.
Neal and Charlie Cameron when they hadn't done anything. North haven't done anything. They've got all the salary cap in the world.
When who haven't done it? When those players
Brisbane.
haven't done anything?
No,
Or
no,
Brisbane?
sorry, the club hadn't done
Sorry,
anything.
understand.
Yeah.
Understand.
So off the back of a 5-win season, they've added Lockie Neal, and the year before that, they added Charlie Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah.
When are North going to add anything better than a C grader?
But yeah, it's an amazing
Anyway.
question.
We've
And
got all year to talk about this.
yeah, again, like, sorry to be the bearer of bad news 12 months on again, but like, who are their key defenders?
Chom?
I'll ask again, who are their key defenders?
No, they've got high hopes for Whitlock,
Whitlock has played
Yeah, no.
10 seconds.
Yeah, but they see that this is their future.
But Whitlock should be playing next to Mackay and Stephen May. May, bad example. You know what I mean?
Griffin Logue, Aiden Call.
Griffin Logue's not a key defender. Aiden Core has done an unbelievable job playing a position that's not his.
I agree with all this.
I just don't.
I'm just trotting out some names.
Don't understand what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Why don't they have a key defender?
I don't want to get you this rolled up this early in the season, so we'll move on to the Blues and the Saints.
So the Blues are a really fascinating one. I don't really know what to make of them. I don't like their outs and I don't like their ins, so that's not a good start. I think that they're significantly worse on paper than they were last year. And I hear all the talk around, the different – they had to get rid of Curnow because they've got to do something different moving forward. But there doesn't seem to be any noise coming out of the club that they're drastically changing their game plan.
Yep.
And I keep hearing people talk about Jagger Smith, which really concerns me.
So for those that missed it, our argument on photo shoot day, which we muted, was over Jagger Smith because I think he's going to be a star for Carlton this year.
And he might be. But I don't – good clubs never, ever talk – when was the last time you ever heard someone at Geelong or Sydney talk about a kid who hasn't played in the way that Carlton talk about – like Carlton did this when they were getting Cruiser, when they were getting Gibbs, when they were getting Murphy, when they were getting Andrew Walker. It was always the next guy was going to be the star. Melbourne did it for a long time when they talked about Jack Watts, when they talked about Trengove, when they talked about who was the other guy that captained them with Trengove? Grimes. When they talked about Scully, all these guys were going to be the next thing.
Geelong and Sydney haven't had top 10 picks like this.
But they haven't. My point is they haven't had to.
Yeah.
Like Geelong, Hawthorn, Sydney, all these clubs had drafted really, really well and got good players in, but then they add guys to their list consistently. Whereas for some reason, whatever it is, it feels like a cultural thing with Carlton. It's like, we'll be better because this kid will add to us. Well, this kid hasn't played.
Yeah. They did come off a finals campaign and move up to pick 3 to get him.
Mm-hmm. But again, he should be the cream on top.
Yeah.
Instead, and correct me, Link and Mitch, if I'm wrong here, but he along with Walsh are being talked about as these guys are going to be the difference with us on the outside. I think that's drastically unfair on a kid who hasn't played. That's all. Anyway, I watched him play against the Gold Coast. I watched him play against Brisbane. Sorry. Did some good things. Looks like a really nice player.
Yeah.
But I also watched Ben Ainsworth kick 4. So I don't think you can take anything from Match Sim.
Yeah, they lose with De Koning, Silvani and Curnow going out.
Yeah.
I do like the look of Ainsworth and Hayward forward of the ball. I think it gives them more certainty on those, counter-attack plays.
So I agree with that on the basis that the game plan changes.
Yeah.
Because the game plan last year was, and I'm using words that Michael Voss used, it was contest and defense.
Yeah.
And win the ball and get it forward.
Yeah. Long and slow down the line too at times.
So I don't think that style of game suits
I agree.
Hayward and Ainsworth. So we're getting a little bit air raid here, but I know we want to talk about players. I just want to talk about a club. And then...
So Carlton don't make the finals for you?
I would be... Look, I think a lot would have to go right. Harry would have to play every game. Walsh would have to not get injured. Cripps would have to play at the same level he's been playing for the last 5 years, which I think is starting to be a big ask for a guy that's carried that group. And if the little exhibition game in Perth is anything to go by, he might be slowing down a tad. He might be. I don't know. It is early in the year, so it's hard to tell. Wiedering would have to play most games. And they don't have a second defender, which is drastically concerning.
Yeah.
Because Lewis Young isn't, and Harry Dean's a teenager.
Yeah.
So I have...
A teenager, but...
Yeah. I have... And I don't like Williams and Florent and Sard off halfback. So, yeah, not a lot of positivity.
So glass half empty again on the Blues this year.
I'm probably glass a quarter full.
Yeah. And the Saints?
The Saints are a really interesting one, and I hate sitting on the fence, but I really don't know how it's all going to work, other than to say I feel like Silvani, if he plays, makes them better, and De Koning, particularly with the new rule at centre bounce, I think his athleticism around the ground, and if he continues to grow on a linear level naturally as a player, I think he has the potential to be one of, if not the best ruckman in the competition.
Yeah.
Can King get his body right? Seems like a big if. I don't know about Flanders. I never really loved him as a player. He probably
Flanders-
makes them better.
Flanders is a bit like Dylan Shield to me when he arrived at the Bombers,
Yeah.
where he goes from being like the third or fourth banana at the Sun
To the second.
to the second. So behind Merritt when Shield came in at Essendon.
Yep.
Flanders was behind Touk Miller, Noah Anderson, Matt Rowell at the Suns.
Yep.
Can he come and be the second guy behind Naz now? That's the question for me. They've moved out Jack Steele, their captain, to make room for these guys in the midfield.
Who's their third midfielder? Is it McRae?
Yeah, McRae, Mateus Filippo will go through there a bit.
Yeah, still waiting for him
Who
to
else have they
just.
got?
We spoke in the A
Sinclair
graders
plays
that's about halfbacks going in the middle, so Jack Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, though, I
He
like.
probably should have got more of a mention. I did have him down on the.
Oh, he was on my list last year, but just couldn't.
Yeah.
He was unlucky given his best and fairest and all Australian results.
Was he All Australian last year?
Not last year. but the
Not
two
last year.
Yeah, okay.
But I think, was he back to back All Australian and then back to back BNS? Yes, he was unlucky not to be in.
Yeah.
But again, I just think it's easier dominating a halfback.
Yeah.
That's not to say that he's not a very good halfback, because he is. But is he an A-grade footballer? Probably
Is
not.
break even a top 8? Forget wild card. Top 8 finish for the Saints.
Yeah, I think so. How are we ranking stuff now? Now that the AFL have decided to completely change the constitution of the finals based on the TV networks getting involved and wanting more finals games. Do we call it the top 10 now, or what do we do? We actually call it the top 10? That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that a wild card win counts as a finals win.
But it does.
I know that. I just don't like it.
It's awful. It's just awful. Hey, Mitchell, before we finish and we get into the games, Lachie Neale. We don't need to get into the nuts and bolts of everything that happened. It's been quite well reported. It's been quite uncomfortable to read, to be honest. It's, I felt for all involved. But purely from a trade perspective, it feels like it's his last year at Brisbane, doesn't it?
Yeah. Free agent this year. I think it's perfect timing for both parties. Well, maybe not for Lachie, but for Brisbane certainly. McCluggage has just on a 7-year deal. Ashcroft needs more time in there times 2.
Yep.
Will and Levi. Dan Annable comes in as a top 10 draft pick. Zach Bailey, they've got to convince to the future's there, and he's going to want more midfield time. Cam Rayner. And I haven't mentioned Josh Dunkley. It feels to me that it's just
Stars aligning.
for the Lions.
Where's
yes.
he go?
I think it's the last thing Freo need. It feels more West Coast to me. He's a South Australian. If I'm the Crows, I'm at least looking at it.
Yeah. It's just, given everything that's happened, though, with Jules, you would think that, given his desire to spend more time with his family, you'd think it has to be Perth.
Yeah.
In which case, I agree with you. It just feels like it's immediately West Coast.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to pay him whatever he wants
Yeah.
and give him however long a deal as he wants. And he adds a lot of leadership to
Yeah.
Harley Reid. And
Yeah, I don't think
And Harley
Sarong,
Reid.
Brayshaw and Neil is the right mix.
you don't think,
Sarong, Brayshaw
No.
and Neil, I think they've got that already. They're going to want more time for Hayden Young and Murphy Reid to go through as well.
Hayden Young, the guy that plays a few good games every now and then. Do you want Lachie Neale back?
Murphy Reid had 32 touches in an intra-club the other day, so I'd rather him.
Did we just did a Fremantle intra-club statistic just make it onto this podcast?
Correct.
This is not when I
It's
created
summer.
this 4 years ago. This is not what I had in mind. We're reached a new low.
So much to talk about this year on the show. Ben King,
Yes,
we'll get through all that.
I'm very excited for Tradies season 4. I'm very excited.
Tassie, I think Tassie needs its own whiteboard.
Can't wait for Tassie if and when the stadium gets built. Hey, that was our prequel to the start of the season, our little pre-season taste. Episode 1 of season 4 launches
Season
after
4.
opening round. And I don't want to tease it too much, but there could be an interesting name on the whiteboard week 1.
Oh.
See you then. Thanks for listening to another podcast from Clubby Sports Network. If you enjoyed the show, then it would be a massive help if you could like, follow, rate, subscribe, tap the bell, leave a review, or even share with your friends.